My name is James Nguyen, and I'm a director from Movie Head Picture.
And how did you get your money to make your movie Birdemic?
I self-finance it. I have a day job, and I use that money to finance my film.
How did you get your actors?
I get them through casting companies like nowcasting.com. It's based here in LA. Yeah, it's an online thing, and it's the most efficient way to cast. It costs.
What's it called again?
Nowcasting.com.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and it costs nothing really. I mean, they're really worldwide, but mainly United States. But you can be in New York as a filmmaker and select New York and get the people locally in New York, or if you're in San Francisco. But most of the great talent are really from LA, even though there are people in New York and San Francisco. In the movie Birdemic, you know, half of the audition I did is down here in Film Independent, which is an organization that helps a lot of filmmakers.
What's it called?
Film Independent. The website is filmindependent.org, and they are the ultimate non-profit organization that helps filmmakers to produce their film from all aspects, really, from producing, directing, financing. And I can rent a casting room, a really nice casting room, up in a high-rise for very little money, and we'd meet the talent, and then we would do the audition. Like the guy in Birdemic, the guy who plays Rick, most of his experience in the stage. So in the first few shooting, take, when we actually shoot, he was overacting. So I pull him aside, say, tone it down. The camera's in front of you, so act less is more.
I remember you now. You were my English class.
Act less is better when you're talking about cinema. Okay, so he toned it down and it worked. And week to week, unless you get paid a lot of money, it's hard to stay focused. And so it's the challenge to get them to stay focused is get them excited week to week to keep moving.
What was the biggest production problem?
I think it's money. Really, it's really money. I mean, I wish that I could pay them pay them something in cash besides food and gas. They show up a week, So some week where you sense that. Man, you gotta pay me something. I won't act. So I think, but we.
Did that happen?
No, I mean, it did not happen. It came close, but I managed to convince them that finish the movie. It's your movie career. We went this far, so we should stick together. It's a win-win situation.
Are you a native Californian, or you're here in California? Or did you come from New York, or?
Yes, I'm a native Californian. I mean, I was born in Vietnam, and I immigrated here to the United States.
Where in Vietnam?
Da Nang.
Da Nang.
Yeah, Da Nang.
Oh my.
Yes.
And what happened?
And at the end of the war, in '75, we immigrated here to the United States. We actually left a week before April 30. That's the end, the fall of Saigon. When the communists rolled the tank over into Saigon. So we left a week before that. The only thing that I remember in terms of the war part of it is when we left. When my dad got on the drive home to the house on the Jeep, said, hey, come on, let's go. And we packed everything we got, valuable, and we drove to the airport, the Saigon airport, Tân Sơn Nhất, and did some paperwork, whatever. And next thing we know, we were on a U.S. an air carrier. It's a army airplane carrier.
You came to America with nothing.
Yes, nothing. Yeah, we didn't have any money, and
In Vietnam, what was your father doing? Well, how did he make a living?
he worked as a translator for the U.S. United States government. So anybody that collaborate in any form or manner with the U.S. government is considered an enemy of the communists. So he was, we were in, our life was in jeopardy. If he stayed there, we stayed there, they would have shipped him to some prison camp, and he would have died there.
What is it that inspired you to tell the story with a camera?
The story, so it's kind of like, I was a huge Hitchcock fan, and I was a fan of the Bird. In fact, Miss Tippy Hunter was in my first film. She did Julie Jackman. She all did a cameo in this film, Birdemic. So I think that's initial inspiration. The Bird was a little prophetic. It was a little ahead of its time, because there was no really mention why the bird, the crows, and seagull attacked Bodega Bay. And there was a reference to it. There was 1 or 2, 3 reference to it, but there was no thing but if you watch it carefully, I think it's I don't want to give the story away of my movie itself, but it has to do something with the environment. Let's put it that way.
I'm not worried about those black birds. They're not the dangerous animal. It's the human species that's the dangerous, menacing, and terrifying animal.
Now, how did you get the idea to take Birdemic to the Sundance Film Festival?
I got the idea is because
And what exactly did you do? What was the process?
yes. Well, first thing is I submitted to Sundance to try to see if to get if I make it to Sundance, and it was rejected. They didn't pick my film, so I decided, well, I have to find a distribution of this film, and one of the best places to go to get notice, attention, distribution is Sundance. And so I decided that I want to drive my van up there, fill it with, drip some blood, put some sign up the van, because there's a van in this movie in Birdemic, and make some noise, and hopefully I might get lucky. I always have this joke, if you don't make the Sundance, try to make it to Slam Dance. If you don't make the Slam Dance, try to make the Tromadance. And if you don't make the Tromadance, you do the Main Street Dance. So I did the Main Street Dance, and I had fun. I mean, I ran out of money. I put that's way. I have barely enough money for gas to get them some food, and so I had to part of the time slept in my van, in freezing temperature, 20 degrees. You couldn't afford a $300 a night hotel on Park City.
Is there one overarching theme that you have come away with in your film career? One overarching theme or lesson or wisdom?
I think, yes. I think number one thing is make that movie, tell that story you want to take. Tell that story that you want to tell, and make it whatever way that you can. Like I said before, start high. Try to do the Hollywood way. $10 million, even $100 million, you get that break. Do it that way. If you can you can do that way, great. Try that. Try that at least 6 months to a year. But after 6 months a year of the campaign to raise the money, if you totally fail, then shoot it with what you have, even if you sell everything you own. So that's how I did it, and sell everything I own plus a day job, and I made my movies.